Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm glad that you're here today. I hope that you guys are doing well and staying safe. Today I have a requested Q&A session for you of myself. Several of you are very curious and want to know more about your magic reviewer. So I have compiled 10 questions that you guys have asked me either through comments on my reviews or through direct emails to me. And I'm going to try to answer those to the best of my ability for you. Before we get started, I did want to mention to you guys that I noticed several people have mentioned on my last review that splitting cards is very difficult and not the easiest thing to do. And because most people learn how to split cards by tapping the corner on a hard object like a desk or a table, and then ripping the card apart, it's no surprise to me that many of you have a hard time splitting cards without ruining or damaging the card. So I wanted to make a tutorial video to help those people that need to learn a better way of splitting cards. I've been splitting cards for years using hot water and some other tools, and I wanted to share that with you guys because I think it'll probably help you, especially if you're having a hard time splitting cards. Here's an example of a piece of a card, of a layer of a card that I split, and you could see that it's nice and crisp and it's flawless. The corners are perfect because I did not smash this on any table before I split it. In fact, I did not rip it apart. My method does take a little bit more patience and time, but the results are worth it, as you can see. Here's a couple other examples for you. This layer card came from the Mint deck, which was put out by 52 Cards. And you can see how this one turned out. It's also completely flawless. Here's a couple of other examples for you guys of other layers of card that I've split using my method. And you can see that this is nice and crispy. So it's exactly as you would expect it to be. So I'm going to make that tutorial video, and then for those people that are interested, send me an email and I will send you a link to my tutorial, and hopefully it will be helpful to you. Again, I've been splitting cards for years doing it this way because I don't want to damage cards. I just want to split them. And this is an excellent way of making thin cards or gaff cards. So if you're into card magic, you probably would definitely benefit from this. And I have not seen any other person put out anything like this before. Again, I just wanted to share this with those people that are interested and that do follow my magic reviews. So just send me an email and I'll send you a link. So let's get on now with the questions. So here are the questions that you guys have asked me, and I'm going to try to answer them to the best of my ability. The first question is, what is your profession? So I'm a medical doctor. I've been practicing medicine for over 10 years. I work in the inpatient setting, that is in the hospital. And up here, I'll put a picture of myself so you can see what I look like these days in the hospital working. Now with the coronavirus, we have to protect ourselves and wear a lot of personal protective equipment, as you can see here. And so this is what I look like on any typical day at work. Next question, how often do I buy magic? Literally every single day. Magic is delivered to my house almost every day, and I support the magic community directly, as you can see. Next question, who do you perform for and how long have you been performing? I have been performing magic since I was a teenager, so that's literally almost 30 years now. I used to perform mostly for groups of people, like party settings. I'm doing walk around or small groups. Nowadays, I mostly just perform for my patients, since I have an endless supply of new spectators, because I hardly ever see the same people twice in the hospital setting. Because of that, it really does afford me a way of using people as a spectator as well. And I love to use magic as an icebreaker with my patients. I think it really works well because when a doctor walks in the room, you've never seen this person before, suddenly you have to trust your life in their hands. Magic is definitely a good way of facilitating the beginning of a relationship with a person. They don't just see you as this robot. You know, you can actually connect with them on a human level, which is what I really like to do with magic. So besides performing though for my patients, I also perform for other people I work with in the hospital, other providers like nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and nurses. Next question, how did you get into magic? Well, when I was a teenager, I saw on a magic special an effect where a magician, I don't even remember who it was exactly. It may have even been, I don't really remember, so I'm not going to say any names, but the magician did this. They flashed a deck like this and they had you think of one card that you saw go by, and then after the commercial, they told you the card that you were thinking of. I was so impressed with this trick that I literally went out and took out every book out of the library on magic that I could find and read through them until I found the secret, which of course was the short card. It was so simple, and for a while I performed that effect for everyone I came in contact with. And then eventually afterwards I got into learning more effects. I got a stripper deck, I got a Svengali deck, just like everybody else does when they start in magic, and then literally the rest is history. Next question, why did I start my YouTube review channel? Well, as many of you know, the main reason was because I felt that most magic YouTube review channels are biased, and I still believe that. And the main reason is because they are supplied magic from big magic companies, and their purpose is not just to do a review, but it's also to push a magic product at you. Because I buy my own magic, nobody's supplying me with the products that I'm reviewing. I can be more open, I can be more honest, I can tell you the negative points of any magic product that I buy. That being said, I try to be careful because of course I don't want to I don't want to highly offend people, but at the same time I want to be honest and truthful, because the goal of my channel is to help you make an informed decision about the magic that you buy, so that way you save your money and you only buy the magic you really want. So that way there's no surprises. So I hope that really answers that question. Next question, who are your magician idols or magician inspirations? There are so many. I will tell you guys though that probably the biggest inspirations I've had come from those magicians that have real chops, real sleight of hand skill, just real dexterity, real presentational skills, people that are an absolute joy to watch perform. And just to name a few names so that way you guys have an idea, people like Michael Vincent, people like the late Daryl Martinez, Armando Lucero. These are just a few names I mentioned, but these are magicians that use many different props, all different types of props, cards, coins, ropes, handkerchiefs, you name it, they use it. And yet the magic looks so magical in their hands. It looks like that's the only prop they've ever used for years. In terms of mentalism, I've really been inspired by mentalists like Bob Cassidy, like Darren Brown. Just watching them perform is an absolute joy. So those are really the inspirations that I have, just to name a few for you guys. Next question, do you create your own magic? Yes, I do. I've created many magic effects. I've created many variations on magic effects as well. I've created magic effects with all different props, coins, cards, ropes, rubber bands, my own mentalism effects as well. And some of those I've given away here on my channel as prizes for contests to people. In fact, I did give away my favorite gimmicked card at any number routine as a prize, and the person who won, I sent them the actual deck and sent them video instruction to perform the effect, which is the squeakiest, cleanest looking card at any number effect that you're ever going to see, but it is a gimmicked version. I've also come up with my own ungimmicked versions of any card at any numbers. I've come up with versions that use a memorized deck as well. And I plan on probably releasing more of my own effects as prizes here on my channel. I have been asked why I don't market some of these effects, and the reality is because I don't need to try to make money through magic, and so I just keep my own secrets to myself. I've only shared them with a select few people, but I would like to give more of my own effects away as prizes here on my channel to people that are interested. Next question. Do you go to magic conventions? And the answer is I've never been to a magic convention before, although I'm not opposed to the idea, and maybe this year, maybe the year I go to my first magic convention. Next question, how often do you exercise? I exercise on average 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, but as a medical doctor, I try to promote healthy lifestyle to my patients and really to everyone around me. Next question is, what is your current go-to effect? Well, as many of you guys know, I'm constantly testing out new material on my patients and on people that I interact with. And what I do is I'll take an effect and I'll road test it for a couple of weeks. If I really like it, then I'll incorporate it into the magic that I perform regularly all the time, or else I'll just stop performing it. And right now, my current go-to effect that I'm performing now almost daily is called Propless Bank Night, and it was put out by Unknown Mentalist. And the reason why I'm performing this one right now is because it is an effect you can perform at a distance. This, especially now with social distancing, it's an effect you can perform over the phone, over Skype, over FaceTime, or even in the same room with the person, but 8 feet away from them with your back turned, you can perform the effect for them. It gets really good reactions. It's a lot of fun. And right now, that is my go-to effect that I am performing. It has a nice twist to it, which is really nice. And I've been getting a lot of good reactions from it. So those are the 10 questions with answers. If there's any questions I haven't answered that you guys are interested in, please just leave me a comment below. I'm going to leave you guys with a performance of mine just for your own entertainment. Thanks guys for tuning into my reviews. And as always, if there's any magic you want me to review, please leave me a comment because I probably have already purchased it. I probably have already road tested it, and I probably can give you a good idea of whether or not you should probably pick it up. I have about 15 or 16 magic requests for magic reviews right now. So just bear with me. I'm trying to get through those as quick as I can. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you on the next review.
What I want you to do is very simple. This is only because many people, when I've done this, later on they'll tell me, I want you to think of a 2-digit number. Any 2-digit number you like. So it could be 10, could be 30, could be 50, could be 100, right? Okay? No, 103. So it's just 2 digits.
Like, what? I know.
Okay? And the reason why I want you to write it down is that way, later on, if I guess your number, you can't tell me it was a different number because you already wrote it down. So all you have to do is write it down and just turn over your card so I can't see what it is. I won't look. Okay? I'll turn it over.
He's probably gonna. No, I've heard this trick, but I've never seen it.
Okay, good? Right? Okay, now, just to make it extra fair, I'm going to put the card inside my wallet. There's absolutely no way that anyone can tamper with it whatsoever. Okay? I'm just going to put that in my pocket. I'm going to think very carefully about what your number could possibly be. Okay. It's an odd number? Oh, see? You're giving it away.
Oh.
You don't have to give it away like that. They're both different numbers. No, wait. See, I'm looking for pupil dilation. That gives it away a little bit. It's less than 50. Positive side. More than 10. 2 digits. I'm going to go with 33. Is that right? Is it 33?
Yes!
Is that right? For real? It really is?
Yes!
That's funny.